Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Ryan Selvey, and we are privileged enough to be able to be joined by Georgia Stolpman today. Good morning. How's it going?
Hi Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Excited to get the week started off. What are we going to be working on today?
Well, first of all, I'm Georgia. Hi everyone. I am a freelance designer based out of the Bay Area. I'm super excited to share a little bit of what I have prepared for you guys today, and it's a little bit of a passion project that I started working on. I think a few months after I graduated. I started thinking about branding in this very nuanced way, where I was considering products more so for what they were less considered for what they were marketed for, but more so produced because they were beautiful, and people consume them because they were beautiful. And so I started sort of researching fragrance brands and fragrance branding and bringing all of these images into Firefly. And that's typically where I start a lot of my projects. And one of my favorite Firefly boards features is this mosaic sort of arrangement that allows you to sort of arrange images. I feel like it just makes my boards always look so much cleaner when I'm getting started. And so I can arrange everything so much faster. But yeah, as I'm sort of collecting all of these images and bringing them into boards, I can sort of start to see the likeness and differences from each of them. And that kind of helps me build a better idea of sort of what I like and what I don't like about each one of these images, and how that may sort of influence my design as a whole. And so I'm noticing sort of like there's an animal here, and there's also sort of this tiger on top of this ice cream here. And so there's
Naturally.
idea of like animal motifs, but then also I'm noticing like paper textures, and then also sort of this like paper embossing, um, in this like Prada box, but then also like these very delicate paper embossing. Um,
A lot of
with, like,
texture, a lot of like physical
yeah,
experiences. I think
yeah.
it's always interesting with fragrance because you always see those advertisements on TV where it's like obviously you can't have people smell things.
Yeah.
So you have to give the like embody the essence and the feeling of it.
Mhm.
Um, so like relying a lot on texture, a lot on feeling.
Yeah,
The idea of a smell. What does that even mean?
right.
So it's cool to see kind of these all side by side. Um, but I cut you off, so keep on.
No, don't worry. It reminds me of like those random like commercials you see of like somebody just riding on a horse through the sand, and it's like
Always.
for some random fragrance and you're like, what? But yeah, again, I see this paper embossing and sort of these like very delicate little details, but then also these very like script and like delicate hand-drawn details in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
these. Um, Very interesting, like contrasts in the typefaces. But I'm also taking note to like some of the packaging details down here, which were telling us like the fluid ounces and the milliliters.
Of
I
course.
always try to like take a look at that before I get started, and have those in somewhere like in my Illustrator board just so I can incorporate them into the design in a way that feels considerate. Um, but yeah, I love getting started in Firefly boards. I started off here and then I started looking at more sort of ideas of essence and texture, horses running through the sand. I think this
Always.
one, yeah, this one was like rabbit fur. I was looking at like linens. This one's like coconut shavings, different like flower petals, things that sort of I could use later on in sort of developing like this brand, maybe as background images or images in social media mockups, and having this to sort of relay back to throughout my process was really helpful in sort of making sure that my final vision really came through. And so as I got started, I started playing around with sort of the generative features in Firefly boards. And this is a sketch from my sketchbook that I scanned in. And so I got really
Cute.
inspired by like the animal sort of motif. And I loved how these sort of like twin swans formed almost like a heart with their heads and necks. And so one of the first things I want to do in boards is generate sort of a nicer image that I can vectorize in Illustrator of my swans. So I'm going to ask it to make an illustration of two swans in black and white.
And as you do that, I just want to take a moment. We are live. So hello to everyone who's watching a replay, but also hello to everyone who's here in the moment. We have Stephen Overturf from Overturf Design
Hi.
Studios, who has an Adobe Live on Demand series going on right now. So make sure you guys check that out. The second
So
video just
cool.
went up.
Yeah.
Learning a lot about Illustrator and packaging things for clients. So you can always check that out. But we also have some other friends like Annika, Dino Rex, PG Ardeki, Andrea. The Tackle Boys are here. Indie Season. Thank you guys for tuning in. And then can't forget our friends over on Behance like Robert, Sean, Tina, Peter. Dorina, thank you guys for being here. Mad Hudson, thank you for being here. If you have any questions, comments, any of the above, please by all means throw them in the chat. We are here as part of a community. All skill levels welcome. All questions are welcome. There are no dumb questions as long as they're respectful. And we are here for the next hour or so. So make sure you throw that in the chat. And we love to just see chat anyway. So Pearly Cream Cheese is back again. Good to see Cream Cheese in the chat as always. So looks like it shot something out for you. And how you
Yeah,
feeling?
you're really interesting, detailed illustration. This is a little bit more complex than what I was looking for. I think I want to sample, I don't think I sampled my sketch image um, in there. Um, but
Oh
let's
yeah,
try
for the
this.
reference image.
Yeah, for the reference. Um,
It was like these two don't love each other. They're in a fight.
yeah.
Steven wants to know if you have a favorite animal though. And I'm also gonna follow up my own question there is if you do have a favorite animal, do you think that it resonates with a fragrance?
Oh, I think my favorite animal, well, I always ask people if their favorite animal is their that one looks very similar to my drawing. Hmm.
Oh, cute.
Well, I always ask people if their favorite animal is the same as their spirit animal. In my circumstance, my favorite animal and my spirit animal are probably a tiger.
Hmm.
Um, I do think there's a fragrance, but I do think it's very like cedar and like sandalwood, if I had to, but I'm not a fragrance expert as much as I'm interested in it. And I want to return the question to the chat and also to you.
It takes a team. Obviously, as the designer doesn't always have to be the one who's mixing the fragrances. Although I've always wanted to go and take one of those fragrance classes where you like
Yeah,
make your own,
get
whether
to
it's a
make your own.
candle or like a cologne. Um, just for fun, I threw up a poll in the chat on YouTube uh, asking if people wear a fragrance most days. Yes, no, or only on special occasions. Um, my favorite animal would either be a raccoon or a owl, um, which I feel like that embodies my like late night nature. But I don't
Yeah.
think either of those would smell good.
I
You're
think
right.
I feel like an owl almost, I mean, I think that's almost like an evergreen, very like pine. Maybe the same for a raccoon as well. I mean, if I had
Yeah.
to make like an assumption,
Some
but
garbage, musty,
yeah, maybe a
a
little
little
note
stale.
of fish. Um, yeah, I'm
Steven
getting.
is saying, wait, it's not horses. So horses not one of
Oh,
your
oh,
favorites.
oh. Yeah, I've been painting a lot of horses. Steven is my Adobe mentor, and we've had a lot of really interesting conversations. But I have been painting horses over the past couple months. And it was just something I did like almost methodically. And it was just a phase I went through, but I
Uh-huh.
don't know if horses are my favorite animal, especially after that.
Yeah, you,
Um,
you kind of outdid yourself. You're like, all right, I'm
yeah,
done with horses for a little bit.
right, right. So I'm getting really different results. I know I have another board where I produce something that's kind of a little bit the same prompt, but a different result.
Right.
Um,
And
and
that's
I
all
just
kind
want
of part of the live part here too. We also
to,
have um a full respect to doing, I always call it, hopefully she doesn't get mad, but I always call it the Martha Stewart approach, where like it's
yeah,
like, and then you put the eggs in the bowl and then she pulls like a cake out of the oven and you're like, that didn't
yeah,
happen in real time. So we're
yeah.
also totally fine with that. As anyone knows with models and stuff, it always kind of takes some trial and error, and you're also going to get some different stuff each time. So
Yeah.
if you have one you already pre-generated or anything that already came up, you're more than welcome to use that stuff.
Let me
Um,
pull, let me see if I can pull that up. Is everyone
sure
still
thing.
seeing the screen or
Nope,
should
it's
I?
just you and me now, so
Okay, let me
you have
pull that
some
up. I think
privacy.
it's in, yeah, I think it's in one of my other
Although
files. Okay, here
I am going to call you out on one thing that I see on your screen that
we
no
go.
one else sees, and it's American Gothic, which is now public domain as of
Okay.
13 days ago. But it
Yeah.
has Paris Hilton on there, which I think is
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah. It was a
uh,
reference for a painting I did. I was like
oh,
looking.
really?
I think what was their show called? Was it The Sweet Life
The
with
Sweet
Paris
Life, yeah. Well, no,
and
The Sweet Life,
oh, that's
Zach and
Zach and
Cody.
Cody. I'm so wrong.
But it was something
Uh,
like that.
yeah, it was
Um,
there's something similar. Okay, I
all right, cool. If
found
I show your
my
screen again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Okay,
great.
cool. We
Yeah.
back.
Okay. Here are my swans. I can also bring this into my original board with all of my results, but oops,
Oh,
delete all.
Indie Season did one of those fragrance classes, and they made senses and got a brief
Oh,
history, which
no
is really cool. But
way.
they were in
That's
France,
neat.
so I mean that's like
That's
that's
next level.
that's the most real you can get. I'm like looking for a shady back room in
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, totally. Um, okay, here's my mosaic of generated swans. And there's a lot of variety here, but I think my intent was something like this that was a little bit easier to vectorize.
Hmm.
Um, but again, there's always a variable when you're working with AI in almost every circumstance, especially when it's a live one. Um, but yeah, so there's my vectorized swan. And I was also working on generating sort of some like paper textures, looking at colors and
Certainly.
whatnot. But as one does, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and bring my swans into Illustrator. And this was a little sort of starter pack I made for myself before I got on stream. And usually I would organize my boards in kind of the same fashion, but usually I am not this organized.
I appreciate the honesty, and it also makes me feel better because I am definitely not this organized.
And so now I can swap out my little sketch with my image. That's going to be really easy for me to do an image trace of. And I can go ahead
Which
and see.
Steven recently did. It might not even be up yet. I think it's in his third video that's coming out soon. He goes into vectorizing some Illustrator, well, sketches into Illustrator, and he
Yeah,
goes a little bit
yeah.
into detail about image trace.
I think Steven, I've learned so much from him about illustration in specific and watching his design sprint as well.
Yeah.
Um, so incredible. I'm gonna expand.
We also have some comments from Dorina saying that horses are their absolute most favorite animal.
Yeah.
And oh yes, the third video came out yesterday, which I should know, but I'll have to grab a link to it or something. Um, also, it's just saying everyone's saying hi over on Behance as well.
I
Um, they're asking about which Steven we're talking about, which is funny because you just commented right after him, and we're talking about Steven Overturf. Also, hello to Attrition, I believe. Good to have you here. We're working on a fragrance brand. We just hopped out of Firefly. We're back into Illustrator. We're working on these beautiful swans. which all belong to the royal family because they said that if you touch a swan, you are affecting the property of the royal family,
Right. Swans are
which is
pretty aggressive too, right?
super great. There, so I live right next to a park in Brooklyn, and there's a bunch of
Oh, no
swans.
way.
And dude, you do like watching them mark their territory is
Yeah.
wild.
I'm a
I
little
just
scared of them. Yeah.
yes, I feel like we all should be.
Um, but I was just thinking about horses and how isn't it the year of the flaming horse this year?
According to who?
I thought it was like the animal of the year, like how last year was the year of the snake, and then this
Oh,
year is
The Chinese zodiac has a
yeah, the
horse. I didn't
Chinese
realize
New
that.
Year. Yeah, I think it's like a special year. It's like the year of the flaming horse, but
Ooh, it's a
maybe I'm just
Pokemon year.
gullible. Yeah. Uh, okay, now I'm just deleting all
Deleting
of the
some way. We
yeah.
also have a Happy New Year from Atricia. She's saying, that's totally not how you say it. It's not Atricia. It's Atrician. Attrition, I believe. Says Happy New Year. Swans are so elegant. Dinah's saying, yeah, the Chinese New Year. Which my whole life I thought I was a rooster. And then I think I found out that I am actually a monkey because
Oh,
my birthday's in January and Chinese New Year is not until February.
oh,
So I'm
nice.
like, doesn't that put me back into the previous year? I think
Yeah,
maybe.
I think so. I
So
mean, I think that would, I mean, which one would you rather be? The
I'd rather be the
monkey?
monkey.
Yeah, yeah, that's what
So
I thought. I mean, I
and
think
it
I
then
would.
changes my whole personality. Now I have
It
to
totally
make
does.
completely different life choices.
You're gonna have to like rethink everything now. Okay, now I have my beautiful vector. I love it.
It's fully scalable.
Yep,
You have
group
it all
together.
grouped together, which is nice. Nice and
Great.
clean lines.
Amazing. Okay, so now I have my logo, and I know I want to include my swans, and that was sort of my original idea going into this. But as I'm like building out my starter pack here, I just have some fragrance design, sort of product system and branding names because I not only need a name for the fragrance brand, but I also need a name for the fragrance itself.
Right.
And so those were just some like options that I saw online or just looking throughout the images that I picked out. And I would love to hear feedback from the chat if they're drawn to any of them.
Only if we
But
hear you try to pronounce all of them.
I can't say any of them. Then I also have some other materials. These are some of the textures and colors that I had earlier in Firefly if you didn't catch the stream then. And then these are just kind of reminders of the essence or the vibe that I'm trying to achieve.
So
Just
I
some
do have a
other,
question as
yeah.
far as like as you're sitting down, you're branding something.
Mhm.
If it's fragrance, if it's not fragrance, doesn't really matter. Or maybe it does. But with the idea of like you has a lot of this prepped, but like what are you approaching first? Like what is influencing other parts of it? Like do you really kind of start with colors and then you move over to logo, or is like are you going to draw the swans first and you're just like I know it needs to be something swan related.
Yeah.
um Kind of where does it start for you?
I think it definitely starts with the mood boarding and Firefly boards. I think I also am keen to mood boarding like in my sketchbook and also just like with my hands in some ways, just matching colors together and sort of having some kind of idea that is some direction and
Hmm.
motivation. I
You're a
think
big
when I
doodler.
yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
so I think that's where the swans came from.
Yep.
And I think drawing all of those conclusions from the board and that like I saw the animal on another sort of example that I already liked and I saw sort of these paper textures and this embossment. I sort of get these ideas as to like what I want to at least experiment with as I'm making a design. I think as I'm sort of recreating it for this live, I definitely know a lot of the decisions that I want to make beforehand as I've worked on
Of
this design
course.
before. But I think in most circumstances, it's a lot of experimentation and just sort of like having a really definite understanding of like what exactly I want to experiment with, but also having that really strong understanding of like this vibe or essence of a brand. Um, can also sort of like translate across multiple different products, regardless of like if it's a fragrance or if it's like really anything, honestly.
Yeah. I think I'm mostly just asking for kind of like the idea of someone who maybe is approaching it for the first time,
Mhm.
someone who isn't as familiar with like branding, but it seems like it's very much like a song and dance and a fluid kind of motion of gathering inspiration and then whatever kind of comes first. You're not always kind of approaching the same thing every single
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Also, we
I
have a
think
vote for new or Vive by New, and both of those are coming from Tina. If anybody else has any other ones that they really like, um, make sure you throw it in the chat so that we can go. Otherwise, Tina is our creative director for the day, which is totally fine too. But we'd love to hear what you guys think as far as the names. So make sure you throw it in the chat.
I saw this thing on my mood board as well that I was a big fan of, where it's like a numbered system for a
Mm-hmm.
product. So I might try something out with that, with like
Number
naming it.
6 7.
Number. Ooh, that got me. Ooh, that got me.
It's so done. It's so done. Anytime I do it, my husband gets really mad at me. He's always, it's like, no, you do not bring that in here.
It hurts me,
We
but
are
it's like
not Gen Z or Gen
it
Alpha.
hurts more. Like it hurts more not to say it. Like if it's
Yeah.
right in front of me, like it itches. And
Dino likes the Le Atelier
okay.
Ecorsi. This is just aggressive to have me to try to have to say all these. This is just something that you were trying to get me to work with. Um,
I should have made it a little bit easier for you, but I think
Pearly
that's good.
saying souffle, like with egg
Okay.
whites.
Yeah, yeah.
Indie
I like
season
that.
likes Maison Ori, or.
Uh-huh.
I think that's like Sue. It's funny, no one is picking the same ones, which makes this all way more complicated. Um,
I'm trying to combine a few of them.
Steven, which I don't know if he carries more weights because you guys have a stronger relationship.
He totally does.
He is voting for Lure Atelier. But then we finally got our final other person who's also saying, and the preacher's kid's also saying Lure Atelier,
Ooh,
which I'm
okay.
sure somebody's gonna come in here who speaks French, and my career is gonna be over.
No, don't
Get him
worry.
off the
You're,
air.
you're doing so well. You're doing a lot better than I could. I think that's good. I think gives us a good sort of like,
Baseline.
yeah, I can bounce back to this as I'm
Thanks,
working through it.
everybody. Appreciate
Yeah. Thanks for
the
the feedback, everyone.
participation.
And then, so here's my materials, here's my colors, textures, and then I also have, before we hopped on stream, and this is another part of my process, that would be like just me picking through and looking at things for sort of hours and hours if I could, but different types from Adobe fonts that I'm just bringing into my board that sort of specifically remind me of fonts that I already liked on my sort of mood board. I can bring it back up again, but there was a few of these like very hand-drawn script fonts. And
Hmm.
so I was drawn to sort of this one. Um, I love the textures in here. I love this like very typewriter texture, and it has like this roughness to it. And then I also love this texture here, but then also I saw a lot of this mono spacing with sans in a lot of my examples. So I wanted to grab one of those as I'm sort of pairing and matching those together. But now that
The Stampy one is definitely giving, and this like makes me sound like I know my fragrances. I only know one,
yeah,
but they're giving like it's giving very like Lolabo kind of.
yeah, that's what I thought, totally.
They have those. I also, it's always you got to take it with a grain of salt, but I saw a lot of those like design trends for 2026
Hmm.
lists that come out, which like I feel like 90% of them never end up turning to be true. But
Yeah, they do.
one of the things that I saw pop up a few times with a few different people was like this idea of not quite anti-design, but the idea of something feeling super handmade and hand created just because we are on one side of the pendulum, like
Yeah.
so automated and AI and da 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 da, that like another big part of it's going to be like showing that there was some sort of hand behind it. So like I think we'll see more script fonts. I think we'll see more inaccuracies,
Mhm.
intentional inaccuracies with type.
Yeah.
Um, we're seeing a call out for some typewriter from Indie Season. They like those. Nate has joined us. Um, And Dino has said, I've seen the Chandler 42 Noir in other colognes. And we have someone joining us from Sri Lanka, which welcome.
Ooh,
Good to have you here. We're
welcome,
streaming from both Brooklyn and from
San Jose.
San Diego?
San Jose.
San Jose. San Jose. I don't
Yeah.
know my California geography.
No, don't worry.
Also going to get kicked out for that
Big
as
buddy.
well. Uh,
Uh, I'm just gonna copy because this is my brand. Oops. Oops. I'm gonna group this so it's a little bit easier. But I have my brand name and my product name, so I'm just gonna make some blank copies of the text box so I can just see what the font pairings kind of look like. I know I want one sort of main font and one secondary font for product description, or maybe I'll just kind of see what happens. Um, try this one with mono, make this bigger.
Nate wants to know if Ireland counts, which I'm not sure what that is in relation to.
Oh, Ireland
Nate,
counts
what do you
for
mean Ireland? Ireland counts for plenty. Wondering if he's
Ireland counts for everything.
Ireland counts for everything.
I feel the
Uh,
calling to Ireland.
um, But while we are kind of laying that out, I am going to quickly pull up something off of my screen here, and that will be the schedule that we have going on for this week. If you're watching this live, you're watching this on Tuesday, January 13th. You can see this is the first stream of the day with designing a fragrance brand. Right after that, after this, if you stick around on YouTube, we have Office Hours coming out with Nick Longo and Andrew Hockrottle. It's a great weekly series where they take questions, they hop into the latest updates and explorations of Adobe programs. So that's really fun. And then right after that, still staying on YouTube, it's YouTube all day today. We have Roller Troll with Way to Cuff, and he is constantly rolling dice. He is then taking that number, going to a scratch card. The scratch card presents two options. Like it'll be like draw a horse or like draw a iPod Nano, which they're not branded like that. But then the chat then votes on that, and then it like builds out the composition. So that's really fun to also be part of the community, and then be able to build a composition. Tomorrow, we are split between both YouTube and Twitch. We've got the vodcast in the morning, which is in-person sit-down interviews that is going to be all about growth instincts and creative confidence. We then have my show, File New, which is design news and creator news, followed by Cinema Collective on Twitch, which is all video editing, video talk, video, you name it. We also have a full in-studio day on Thursday to check that out. We're streaming TikTok on Friday morning. So if you follow us on TikTok, you'll be able to tune in, give us a hello. And then we also got some creative trends forecast and some educational content at the end of the week. You can catch this schedule in the schedules channel of the Adobe Live Discord server. You can get to that through the link in the description. Or I believe sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I'll have to double check it. I'll put it in, but I think you can go to like adobelivediscord.com. I think it'll bring you there. And outside of that, there's also channels for each show, and you can come and talk to people while we're offline. But anyway, back to Georgia. If you're just joining us now, we're working on a fragrance brand. We hopped a little bit into Firefly, and then we hopped into Illustrator, building out different approaches to type, imagery, color, everything you need to create a brand guidelines for a fragrance brand. And we also have a poll going on Adobe Live YouTube where it says, do you wear a fragrance most days? 57% of you smell great with a yes, 27% of you smell bad, and 17% of you smell great sometimes for special occasions. I right now we were talking about this right before we went live, but I get gifted fragrances for Christmas and I smell good for the first half of the year, and then I don't buy new ones, so then I smell bad for the second half of the year. Dino Rex is saying that they like the cursive as the secondary font. We
Okay.
also have someone joining us from Israel. Good to see you all the way on the other side of the world. We're streaming from both New York and California. Um, so good to have you here, but people joining from all over the world, and good to have you guys here.
I'm
Faraway
not sure.
Places says Nate.
Is it the top cursive or is it this italic?
Ooh,
We'll see.
Dino, how do you feel? How do you feel about the cursive as the secondary font, Dino? But these are
Um,
all looking really great.
yeah, I'm a big fan of of this going on up here in this corner.
you
Um,
you do perfume sounds like someone saying eat the perfume.
edible.
Du parfum. Parfum. I'm trying. But if I try, then it gets offensive. So I don't know. It's confusing.
Um,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Awkward laughter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Back to you. Back to you.
No, no, no. It's the best. I'm a big fan of these textures. I like the texture here. I like the texture here. We were just talking about sort of the value of hand done or looking
Mhm.
hand done. Like the idea of like something looking like, or at least this label looking like it was typed on a typewriter. Or if I could make it look like that in Photoshop, would be great. Um, let's keep going. I'm gonna grab my other considerables here.
Trig is saying, "I love what you have up in the corner," which yeah, I think is what your most favorite child. And so we've got just to look through those. That is chain printer for that typeface, uh, and that seems to be pretty popular. Also have grabbing some of the descriptors that then also kind of have to be included. Because if you guys have ever designed anything for consumer products, you can always have this big vision and you know pie in the sky design, but then you also have regulatory things that you have to include, and then also things that the client wants you to include because it's important for the consumer to see,
Right.
um, which is always a balance. Interesting. I see some consumer products now like will put things in boxes,
Hmm.
and then on the bottle or whatever will then be like, refer to the box if you want, nutritional info or something.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and you're like that was a designer's choice. um,
Um, okay, so I think I have, I mean, I might as well go with my favorite child if the chat agrees.
yes, I think so.
Okay. I have here just the dimensions of, well, here's my mock-up I got from Adobe Stock, and there's just so many mock-ups online. It's just insane. But I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to find such a clean like perfume mock-up with a box. But yeah, this one has like a ton of different shots for me to use, but this one allows you guys to see both the bottle and the box.
Hmm.
But these are just the dimensions of those before we get started, so I can make sure that they align with the mock-up. I'm gonna bring in my swans.
Do the swans have names? I feel like
Ooh,
they would have to have mascot names,
good.
right?
They have to have like names that like go with each other.
Like like George and Ringo.
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
um, Dynarex wants to know if these are fonts that are from the Adobe Fonts library or if they're from your
Yeah.
personal collection.
Yes, all of them are from Adobe Fonts. And
Great,
they are all listed. These here are all the Adobe Fonts, the names that they're listed as,
great.
if that's helpful to anyone there.
I'm gonna
And
go
I
ahead
can,
and screenshot that,
okay,
and then I'm gonna go and put that into the general section of the Adobe Live Discord. So if you guys want to cross-reference that later, you are more than welcome to go check that out. You can see that's right here. And then you guys can incorporate them into your own products. If you do end up putting them in your own products, we would love to see them. Make sure you put them in the Discord, and then we can see how you kind of use these typefaces.
So I'm definitely beginning to cook a little bit here. Just kind of playing. I definitely like how the brand name looks with the swans. I think they match together really well. But I kind of want to get something a little bit more balanced for the shape of the bottle. Because I can go back to some of my examples in my mood board as well. But I do think a lot of these bottles they're kind of set pretty tight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's not a lot of words, or there doesn't have to be a lot of words on the bottle itself. It's very much just identifying the product for as
Yep.
it is. Um,
Nice classification, being able to just kind of um, I don't know, get the message across.
yeah, yeah. And I also noticed from my mood board something that I haven't thought about yet is that a lot of these fragrances or fragrance lines have some sort of identity that's based in a location. So,
Mm-hmm.
like when you think of Prada, you think of Milano. When you think of certain designer brands, you think of the location that they come from.
Right.
Um, and like with Le Labo, you have all of the location, like the New York location where it was made. Um, and I think it'd be
My
fun to
apartment.
sort of, yeah, literally. I think it would be fun to include some sort of location on the bottle. I
Right.
don't know if chat has any ideas, but I'm using a lot of French words in my packaging, so I don't know if that's
So we're
too.
obviously going to go with someplace in Australia.
Yeah. Perfect.
Dinah's also saying that one swan is called lure and the other
Mhm.
is called atelier. And those are
Ooh, that's
definitely not how you say it,
cute.
but you guys know which one I'm speaking of. Um,
I like
but
that.
let's see where you guys think that the location of this fragrance should be. I feel like it's been a while since we've heard from Indie Season. So, if Indie Season, if you're still here, or the Tackle Boys, um, we got PG Ardeki as well. Would love to hear if you guys have any location ideas that we could kind of have the manufacturing of this fragrance come from. That said, also you don't have to be one of those people. If you're anybody who can hear my voice, would love to hear. Um,
Mm. So I'm just lining
I
things
wonder what it'd be like to like live above like a fragrance manufacturer because I always feel
over
bad for people who like live above like a food establishment,
or
but
bar.
or like a bar. But like I
Yeah.
imagine if it was like a fragrance place, it would be good.
I
Somebody
feel
runs a bakery business out of one of the apartments in my building, and so my
oh,
hallway always smells really good because I'm like,
yeah.
ooh, they're baking
That's
today,
good.
and that's always really nice.
Yeah. I feel like that's a blessing.
Yes, and I have had their bakery stuff like one time. It was really good.
Yeah, it was really
Uh,
good. I like that.
yeah, we like found their car keys and returned them, and then they were like, "Here are cupcakes in return," and I was like, "This was the best transaction of my
Yeah.
life."
Awesome. That's so nice too. Like
Yeah.
here's some um okay, so that feels semi-interesting to me. I mean, I'm not married to the spacing of it all,
Hmm.
or the arrangement. I think something feels a little bit missing, and I think that these need to be a little bit farther apart, but I think that I need some sort of
We need a
location.
location. So Nate,
Yeah.
Nate, where are you from? Where is Nate based out of? I can figure this out, even if he doesn't respond. Although I feel like this might be doxing, but we're gonna figure it out. Oh, that's why he said Ireland earlier. He's from
Oh,
Cork,
oh, oh,
Ireland.
does Ireland count?
Does
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ireland count? So, oh, and you know what? He was probably asking if perfume made in Ireland counts if he like made a fragrance there. So
And,
maybe
and
that
we
could be
were
it.
just like, counts for what?
Counts for what?
Okay,
Um,
there's Ireland.
Dino saying Bordeaux or Lion, with a Y, um, which that's also, uh, you know, is it a province of France? What is Bordeaux? Bordeaux is
I'm not sure how
a
to spell
port
it.
city. That's what it is. It's a port
Okay.
city in southwestern France.
Hmm.
You can tell
Hmm.
I've never been to
Yeah.
France. I'm
I've been,
really showing my naivety today.
how do I spell Bordeaux?
Bordeaux. All right. This is Bordeaux.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful. Um,
Ooh. That looks very fancy.
It does look fancy. I feel like that was a good Dinah's like their cities.
Yeah,
He didn't
like
he didn't
that.
say idiot, but I felt it. This is looking really good though. I'm liking
Yay,
this a lot.
great. Okay, I'm excited. I'm not married to this yet, but for the sake of time, I might as well move
These
on to the.
swans are married though.
They are married. I think they're in
They're
love.
they're life partners.
Yeah, soulmates. But I think the box is going to be quite easy now that I have pretty much everything else. And one of the things that I was really, really wanting to experiment with was paper embossment. And I want to show you guys how to do that
Yeah, tell me
in
more about that. Is that they're
Photoshop.
just in you bringing things from Illustrator over to Photoshop to make that
Yeah,
effect?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, I just thought I should make that smaller, and I'm not sure I like it actually. But um, well, okay.
I
I
kind of
think
like
that
the smaller. I think
yeah,
it'll
I do
work.
too. I think it works.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, And so I think it works best when you're working sort of with a paper texture underneath, obviously, but then it's just the bevel and emboss. And when you bring in sort of a clean vector, it has this super interesting result. And so I was going to try doing that with the swans somewhere on the box. And I thought it'd be interesting. I think I kind of want to center this beef and make it a little bit bigger so people can see the product name. I'm going to align it with everything else and also align it to sort of the center of my box.
Just kind of working
Um,
in those snaps to artboard
yeah,
guides.
I love the snap to artboard guides. I think that like I use grids and rulers a lot too, but in situations like this where I'm kind of doing
Working on
things
the
a little bit
fly.
faster. Yeah, I think this helps me so much. But my idea is to kind of make, and it's going to be kind of strange to show here until I can do it on Photoshop. But I want to take this vector and make it huge and like have some sort of paper embossment around the entire box.
Oh,
Um,
this is neat.
that it's like forming a little bit of a heart
Mm-hmm.
around the fragrance name. Um, and so that looks pretty interesting to me, and I think it
Cool
will look
framing.
cool. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna bring, I'm just gonna export almost all, I'm gonna export my logo, I'm gonna export my bottle label, and then also my box label. So that is
Great.
our 4, 6, and 7. 6 and 7.
6 and 7. Oh god, it's always coming back.
Got me again.
My little nephew can like he will like just work it into a sentence and like you
Yeah.
won't even realize that it happened and you're like what?
It's like, oh my God. It flies right past you.
um
Okay.
and just to make you multitask even more here, I
Yeah.
know you kind of mentioned it at the very top of the show, but what where can we find you online? Do
Yeah.
you mostly post on Instagram?
I
Um,
post mostly, I think you can see all of my work on online at georgiarosestolpman.com.
mhm.
That's everything I have. But I also post a little bit on social media. I'm trying to post more. And that's Georgia Rose Stolpman on Instagram. And that's sort of my art account where I post a lot of my stuff. I do a lot more of my physical media on there.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
what kind of
check
physical
me
stuff? Just like
out.
mostly sketching or
Yeah, I do. I did my senior thesis in sculpture, which was really
very
fun.
cool. All right.
Doing this like living sculpture project. So I was using plants and turning them into sort of these like living organic orbs.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, I do a lot of painting, illustrating, all that kind of stuff. Um,
Amazing.
yeah, thank you. Check me out there. I'm gonna drag in my perfume label and see how place. Save that. And I know it's not always perfect right when you placed it in. Oops, there we go.
On
Um,
your website, you have these cute little googly eyes.
I
And you
know
can
they
you
follow the
can move them
mouse. Isn't
around.
that fun?
This is that that's so fun. That's amazing. I also think you can like do it where like one is kind of like, not in line with the
Yeah,
other one. And it's like,
yeah.
what's happening there?
I know.
Very
I play
cool.
with it sometimes when I'm bored. Um, but yeah, it was such a fun like feature to code in there. It took me like a day, but I was like, this is so
Oh,
worth it.
worth it. It'd be
Yeah,
worth it if it took a week, you know what I mean? Like I'm just like sitting here fiddling with it now.
I know. Okay, that is not quite how I would like it to be. Did it save? Okay, I want it
You
to be
still
a
got a
little
bit of
bit.
time, so take your time.
Okay, right.
Frida is saying that they're checking out your page right now. Says, "Wow, she's really
Awesome. Thank
talented."
you. Oh,
Um,
thank
and
you.
Steven is also gassing you up, saying it's awesome and everyone should go check it out.
Steven, always my G. Thank you. Ah, I appreciate all the love. Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, of course. We're so happy to have you. I'm learning so much. We're getting through so much. Just in this like short hour that we have. If you guys are joining later, you can always check out this replay just by going to the same link. And right after we go offline, it will be available as a replay. That said, if you are around, stick around for more live stuff, though, it will also push you right off to our office hours show, which comes up right after this with Andrew uh, Hawkrattle and Nick Longo. What are they working on today? Um, Today on office hours, it is. Let's make sure it's all set up for you. A CES roundup. Oh, which is fun. I always want to go to CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show over in Vegas, and they're going to be bringing you everything new from CES and reimagine what the future may hold using Firefly boards. So that's coming up right after this. So make sure you check it out.
Right.
Ooh, loving the texture that you added here.
Yeah.
Um, it's looking really
It makes
good.
the well, once we can see it on the box, it'll make a big difference. But
Absolutely.
just taking her sweet time to save.
You know what? We don't rush beauty. This is all a part of it. Um,
No, it's
but
not great.
also just love a good texture experience. Just because it's there as we get further in, you know, 2026. I know that sonic branding is really big, texture branding is really big. It's like for the longest time we focused so much on just visuals, but brands are becoming more than just visuals. They're becoming full experiences where it's like you associate textures or you experience like smells in this case, like even
Mm,
fragrance could be part of it.
yeah.
Um, I mean,
Great.
you think of the old Hollister days when you walked in and got punched in
Oh,
the face by fragrance.
yeah. And the sound.
And the sound and, no light.
Yeah.
Um, Trig is wondering if you added the PNG to the bottle. Did you use multiply or add effects on the layer? I can't see the layers panel as your images are there. Oh, I'm so sorry, Trig. I can move us to the other side too on my end of things. Look, we're over here now. Doo doo doo. Um,
Um, on the bottle, I did not use any effects. I think any effects that were in there were already sort of ingrained into this mock-up that I downloaded. It has
okay,
quite a few levels, hue, saturation, gradient, um, yeah, a bunch of different things. But I can also include a link to this mock-up as well because it's public. Um,
great.
but
That would be
then
awesome.
I'm just going
Very
to
helpful.
head back to my box really quick. Now that I have my texture in there and I know it's there, I can do my swans. So I'm gonna bring
Uh,
in an atelier. I'm gonna scale them up. How I did.
Annika saying Sonic branding is definitely growing, and Nate is asking what Sonic branding is, and that's just kind of the audio. So think of like the Arby's jingle, or like even on like TikTok, you hear the Home Depot sound is like a very popular sound that's used. Um, or at the end of TikTok, that like little noise that it makes at the end when it shows a thing. Like those are all things that even if you don't notice it, are things that your brain is connecting to a brand or a person or an experience. Um,
Okay.
Also, Trig, yeah, we will get that link for you so that you're able to explore the layers panel more on your own. And
I'm
there's a lot of cool things you can do with different blend modes. Um,
gonna turn my fill down to 0. Believe that's how this is done. And then I'm gonna do layer style, bevel and emboss. And
oh,
then now you can kind of see the
did not
effect.
know this is how you did this. This is so
Yeah,
cool.
isn't it fun? This looks pretty good actually. And sometimes it's a little finicky like the first time, but you can adjust it to be a little bit more intense. You can also do outer bevel, which is like a little bit thicker. There's an emboss feature that is like you can see all of the lines. I think my favorite is the inner bevel just because it looks pretty delicate, and then I can sort of increase the size of it on my own. But honestly, whatever chat thinks is cool, I'd love to endorse. Um,
Oh, that one's thick.
yeah, I feel like this one's pretty thick, but I've never seen this one on. And I can always change this too, but I've never seen this like on the actual mock-up. Let's see. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're great. Um, this is I am very excited about this embossing feature. I've never realized that you bring your
Yeah.
fill down to 0, and then Dinah's also saying, "Whoa, that's cool with the emboss."
Yay.
Nate is wondering if you could do that one more time, just because
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yes.
So this is how
Totally.
you can emboss something onto some packaging or any sort of
Yes.
work that you're working
Okay.
on.
So I brought in, so this is a clean vector of my swans. And there's nothing behind it. It's just the black swan vector. And then I'm gonna turn my fill level down to 0. And I'm going to go with my swan vector selected. I'm going to go to layer and then go to layer style, bevel and emboss. And then I can just make changes from there. And so I can change it to outer bevel, inner bevel. Um, there's also pillow emboss, stroke emboss. I'm not quite sure. I don't know too much about those. My favorite is the inner bevel because it's pretty delicate, and then you can sort of increase the intensity of it through the depth and also the size. Some of them look a little bit more flat, and then some of them look a little bit more dimensional. But you can also change the dimension of it, whether it's going into the paper or coming out of the paper. And it just adds this really unique sort of almost hand-done effect to something that just exists inside of my laptop. Um, but yeah, I wanted to
Fantastic.
say that.
Thanks for walking us through that again.
Yeah,
Because that's really cool and that's super helpful.
yeah,
Pearlie saying great idea. Frida says looks great. Um, Dino is very excited about it. So
awesome.
also Nate is saying thank you and that he got it.
Yeah,
So
you're welcome, Nate.
we
Um,
are just at about time, which is kind of
yeah,
perfect because we kind of timed out perfectly. I mean, we've got the bottle now. We've got the box itself from Bordeaux.
yeah,
Um,
we got
yep,
a
the
luxury
perfume.
perfume brand.
And some lovely swans.
Yeah.
Thank you
Um,
so much again.
yeah, you're so welcome. I just had the best time. I've had so much fun, and it's been so great to have this experience with you all. And thank you, chat, for all your feedback. I've had so much fun.
Seriously. I'm gonna also go and end out this poll. We had over 40 people vote, which is great, and 63% of you wear a fragrance most days. 19% say you don't, and 18% say that you only wear it on special occasions. So maybe we'll all wear this perfume to Max next year,
Yeah.
and we can all smell
All
good because
very
it's a nice special occasion. Um, Thank you again to Georgia. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for walking us through all that. We learned so much. We hopped around so many different programs. Um, and yeah, make sure you guys stick around because up next we've got office hours. So
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Adobe.
thank you guys and stick around because we will be back in just a few minutes. And thank you to everyone who was in chat. Okay, bye.
Bye.